Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from beautiful Costa Rica. Tonight's topic is going to be the narcissistic relationship, the spiritual side. Think about that for a minute. If you like the content, please subscribe. And remember, if you want to have a one-on-one session with me, drop an email at narcdailyvideos@gmail.com. Description, and the link in the description below. The email address is down there. Guys, I'm going to jump right into it. So when you were in the narcissistic relationship, whether you grew up with a narcissist being a family member, one was your spouse, neighbor, teacher, boss, coworker, whomever, but once you were actually around this person for any period of time, substantial period of time most likely, and that depends on you and the individual. But the point is, you will notice there is a spiritual side to the narcissistic relationship, and it is extremely toxic. It's prevalent, it's real. It is 100% walking this planet called Earth. And it's something that you can't quite put your finger on it, but you know that something is not right. Remember, this is before you know that you are in a relationship with a narcissist. You just know that something is off about this relationship. Something is draining your energy. Something is making you feel uneasy. Something is amiss, let's put it that way. And each and every time you interact with this person, most likely you find yourself giving and giving and giving to a fault. Maybe working overtime, working late, maybe covering for your family member, whoever that is, tolerating them because they're treated better than you. Maybe it's your spouse who, after the love bomb, soonly began the devaluation stage, and you're still in the relationship, or maybe you were, and you understand that, wow, not only am I contributing to a fault, but this is a one-way street, and it's not benefiting me, it's only benefiting my spouse or ex-spouse. You see, all of these narcissistic relationships, they're one-way streets that benefit the narcissist. They don't benefit you. In the beginning of the relationship, anything, you believe that, yes, okay, things will improve, yes, things will get better, and you continue to work for the narcissist and for the narcissistic relationship. The whole time you're doing this, as I mentioned many times in the channel, the narcissist is getting supply behind your back, maybe even in front of you, maybe out in the open. Maybe they're gaslighting you right there in front of a barbecue, or maybe they're flirting with somebody right in front of your face. Triangulation, in other words, at a restaurant. Speaking of restaurants, maybe you're having a romantic dinner to celebrate a holiday or a birthday or something, and they are on one of their cell phones not paying attention to you. All these examples and many more I could illustrate. However, when you're with the narcissist, you understand that there's something wrong here. The energy isn't quite right, and you're getting different looks that you're not used to getting. You're being treated completely abnormally. You're being put way down below this person who turns out to be a narcissist. You are not a priority. Most times, you are a liability. And many times also, you will find your energy being drained from you. I'm talking drained, because you are constantly on high alert. You're constantly searching for ways to please the narcissist, to make them happy, to give of yourself, which includes finances, social circle, business relations, time, money, energy, effort, love, empathy. The list goes on and on. But the spiritual side to the narcissistic relationship, it is never more prevalent, and there are so many ways. There are limitless ways to describe this, but for this video, I'm going to describe a few. One of which is your energy being drained and subsequently you becoming ill. I know many of you have had to have surgery or surgeries when you were in the narcissistic relationship. To go off on that category, that would be a whole separate video, but I'm letting you know that mysteriously when you were in the narcissistic relationship, you most likely were a healthy individual, and over time, because you were around this person who was draining and zapping your energy, that your illnesses appeared, or your injuries, or maybe you went to the hospital. All these strange things would happen to you, and you couldn't put your finger on it because you were healthy before you met the narcissist. And all of a sudden, you find yourself getting surgeries, and you find yourself not being able to take care of yourself the way you want to. Why is this, you say? I'll tell you why. Because the whole time that you were in the narcissistic relationship, up into and including when you first got injured or came down with an illness, you were putting the narcissist in the relationship way in front of yourself. And you were not taking care of yourself. You may have thought you were taking care of yourself. Maybe you were still going to the pool. Maybe you were still running. Maybe you were still hitting the gym. I get it. But the whole time you were doing that, I can assure you, You are being drained mentally by thinking about what happens when you get home, what happens when that phone rings, what happens when they get a text. You see, you could never be at peace and actually focusing on your workouts. You couldn't do it. You tried to, and many times maybe you got a decent workout in, but you couldn't do it fully because you were in the background. You had the white noise of the narcissist and the relationship. And what are you going to do wrong this time? How come my bank account's going to zero? How am I going to pay for food this week? Things like these. The spiritual side of the narcissistic relationship, another way, it is very, very draining and very, very cumbersome and very trying, is when the relationship ends. It ends with a thud, a crash, a bang. You're not prepared for it. You don't know what to do. Maybe you were discarded, and all of a sudden, there you are in the trauma bond, and you are attached to this person, and your instincts are telling you one thing, your mind is telling you something else, your heart's telling you something else, and you don't know which way to go. The reason this is because the narcissist manipulated you the whole time during the relationship. They wanted you pining for them. They wanted you ruminating. They wanted you in the fog with your head spinning, virtually nowhere to turn. You were isolated. You had no support system. You had nothing to lean on. Because, of course, most likely at that time, you didn't even know what narcissism was, and you were becoming educated and trying to fight through this thing called the discard all on your own. But there's a spiritual side also of that. When you're on the healing path and you finally have practiced radical acceptance and you understand that while I was in a toxic relationship, it almost took me down. But it didn't. But however, you still have to process so many things, so many layers upon layers of things you need to process and learn and understand. That's why some of you have gone through the dark night of the soul, myself included. This is one of the most excruciatingly difficult, frightening experiences you will ever encounter. But if you did do this, if you did experience this and you came through the fire, it is at that moment when everything switched for you and you understood, wow, now I am the priority. Because it's like a cleansing. It's like something just literally zapped this toxic energy away from you. You wanted to give up. You just let yourself go and you gave and you submitted. And that's when you said, I am free. I don't want to touch on that because I did a video on it, but that's a very special video and a very special time for any of you who have experienced that. But that is a spiritual side. It is a massively spiritual side. Many of the things I'm discussing here in this video, you can't put your finger on it. Yes, the physical ailments, of course, but the dark night of the soul, all of the introspection you will be doing, all of the post-narcissistic relationship, all of the thinking about how you got in that situation, putting the pieces of the puzzle together, understanding how you stayed in it so long, how much you contributed, how much you've changed, how much you've grown, and how much on this planet there is, I have to say it, there is evil that walks this planet. It's not just in the movies or in books. It really does walk the planet. All these things you will have to process, you will have to go through, you will have to understand to fully heal, to fully process exactly where you are and exactly where you want to be in the future. But the spiritual side of the narcissistic relationship is something that will sincerely, I believe, be with you forever. And I don't want to trigger you. I don't want to frighten you. I don't want to put you in a bad place. I just know that that is exactly how it will be. You see, the spiritual side, it can follow you where you go. Not everywhere, not always, but at times you will have a sensation, a feeling. Like, let's think about it this way. Let's use the spiritual side with not just a narcissistic relationship. Imagine, if you will, that there are two twins, right? And one twin is on the east coast of the United States, the other twin's on the west coast. Well, maybe the one twin on the east coast gets a sensation like something's wrong with my twin. They don't know how, they don't know why, they're not with them, but they feel something's wrong. And they call them, and sure enough, something happened. That's the spiritual side. That's a connection that you can't quite put your finger on, yet it exists. This exists with family members too, with moms and children. It exists with loved ones who have genuine, authentic, real love for each other. It exists all over the planet. And I believe, sincerely, the more that you believe in these spiritual awakenings, I would say, or experiences, that the more that they will happen. I sincerely do. I'm not going off on a tangent. I'm just letting you know that there is much more to this planet called Earth than just the physical aspect of our things that we call a human body. Remember that the human body is just a vehicle that carries our soul, our presence, our beauty, our aura, our energy. And our energy is exactly what makes us us. And our energy, when it was connected with the narcissist, let's be real, there's a tie there somewhere. Now, again, I'm not trying to trigger people. I'm not suggesting that oh my gosh, this is like what's gonna, no, it's none of that. What it is just understanding that you come first, second, and third now. You are on the path, you are helping yourself out, you are benefiting, growing, learning, but most importantly for this video, you are understanding that yes, in fact, there is a spiritual side. And the spiritual side doesn't need to be negative. It can be quite positive also. It can be beautiful if you allow it to be. The more you practice and understand and become educated on the spiritual side of the narcissistic relationship, the more you will blossom, the more you will be open to new possibilities, the more you will introspect and say to yourself, wow, there really is more to life than not only just the narcissistic relationship, but any relationship specifically on this planet. You see, everything that you do is on purpose. It is with a purpose. It is because you want to do it, but more importantly, it's meant to benefit you, every single experience. And again, if you've made it this far in the video, thank you very much for being here. I sincerely appreciate it. What I'm saying by that is, many people don't get to reach the age that you are on the planet. Many people have passed at a much earlier age. Many people will live to be they'll be on the planet so much longer. This is all part of the spiritual side. It really is. Imagine this, if you will. Imagine something completely separate, that you are really wanting, let's say you really want to get that job. I'm making this up, of course. And you are studying, you're practicing, you're really thinking positive about it, you're prepared and everything. And then it just clicks and you're like, no, I have this. This is before the interview, by the way. And you're like, no, I got this, I'm gonna get the job. But you just know, like you know it. It's almost predestined, but you understand that you will get the job. Whereas 10 minutes ago, you were worried, you were nervous about it. Oh my gosh, am I gonna do well in the interview, things like that. But then once you're calm, once you're resolute and stoic, and you just are, you're like, no, I got it, I'm gonna get this. It's not wishful thinking, it's not being overconfident. It's a sense that comes over you that you just know it's gonna happen. This has happened many times in your life, if you really think about it, from your childhood up until probably this week. There are times in life when you just know something's going to happen and you can't make it up, you can't fake it. It will just hit you and you're like, yep, I got it. I just know it. And when these things happen, that is the spiritual side of your calmness, of your presence, of your energy, allowing you to understand that you're right. You got it. It's going to happen. So guys, this video is a little deeper video. I wanted to touch on it because there is a spiritual side to not only the narcissistic relationship, but to life, to your existence, to the reason you are here on the planet, so on and so forth. So my hope is you tap into the spiritual side of things and you understand exactly why you're here on this planet called Earth. It wasn't exclusively so you could be in a narcissistic relationship and have that become a reference point for the rest of your life. Let's put it that way. It happened. It was horrible. It changed you forever. My hope is you've benefited, grown, learned, become educated, and awakened and aware. And now you can move all of your energy into yourself, beginning right now, if you haven't already. That's exactly why I created this video. So the spiritual side, there are so many different layers of it, but I wanted to give you some examples to let you know that things happen to you, and they're not coincidences, because there are no coincidences on this planet. They happen to you because you're actually thinking about it in your subconscious and you want it to happen and you've thought about it and you've prepared, and lo and behold, it happens. And you can turn all of this energy into any direction you want to become the best version of yourself each and every day. That's my hope, and I believe you will be doing it, and you are doing it. So guys, I hope you liked the video. I loved doing it from beautiful Costa Rica. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon. Stay blessed, stay true, stay on the path. Continue to become educated, awakened, and aware. Understand and embrace the spirituality side of life, and understand that there is a spiritual element to not only the narcissistic relationship, but to virtually everything here on this planet. And things can be great if you open up to it and understand that. I love you. I'll talk to you tomorrow. God bless you. Have a great night. I love you. Bye.